Welcome back to Media Mama TV. I'm Alicia Cutting, and we are here to talk info, inspo, and convo, because here at Media Mama TV, there is always something to say about everything. And speaking of things to say about everything, cancel culture has become something where everybody will jump in on a topic and decide, are we going to cancel out an author? Are we going to cancel out a company, a brand, or whatever? What does cancel culture do for us? What does it mean to you? What is cancel culture all about right now, particularly while we're all mostly home or tied and tethered to our computers where we're seeing things all day?
I think, I'm torn about cancel culture because in my mind, cancel culture is just a current word for a euphemism for saying boycott. So it's like people have boycotted things forever in order to affect change. Now it just seems to be
quite effectively.
Yes, effectively, right. Yeah, right. You think about Selma and other places, but now it's it seems much more personal. It's not necessarily a cause. It's a person. You're boycotting a person. And I'm sure that nobody in the world wants to be boycotted. However, if you espouse certain views, people are going to react to that negatively. Depending. If the views are extreme and people are not concur with them, but I don't know. Cancel culture seems a lot less dire to me than people are making it out to be. It's just kind of like somebody screwed up. People are pissed about it, and they don't want to hear you anymore.
It isn't that they're right. I mean, it's like
that's my take on it.
I mean, if somebody, like you said, if somebody's views about topic ABC or whatever are really extreme or whatever, there will always, in my opinion, be someone who they totally align with their value system.
Exactly.
So, Alicia, I'm of the mindset of like, listen, say what you want. I personally would rather know what you think, know what you feel, know your thoughts on different things. That way I will judge my business, my personal interactions accordingly.
Right.
And I mean, I don't have a problem people expressing who they are, because that just tells me, okay, thank you for being honest. And
I know, thank you for telling me who you are.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So,
and that's something that you should appreciate from everybody, to have that openness for you to know, where you put yourself, who you interact with, because, and at the same time, you need to understand you don't have to be $100 to be liked and to be accepted everywhere and anywhere. Bottom line.
I mean, honestly, if you ever go through life and everybody likes you, then you're completely inauthentic. Something's wrong, because you're playing out all sides of your neck. No matter what you do or what you say, someone is not going to agree with you. Right. And I think that that's fine. And I think it's okay if people express it. But I think the phrase cancel culture is like, oh, it's the phrase of the day. It's kind of,
it's the phrase of the day. It's a boycott. And once again, social media. I mean, we were all around when this was not, a boycott was, remember a boycott of California grapes or remember back, it's like boycotting grapes. Because of the farm workers. Like farm workers, and it was a political thing.
Okay.
Because I know, I'm sorry.
I thought you were talking about the California grapes, the commercial with the dancing grapes.
No, not those guys.
Those?
No, we didn't boycott those guys.
No, what did I miss?
It was a migrant worker thing.
Yes.
But
that I remember.
Yeah, so that's the stuff that you read in the newspaper that were across college campuses and stuff like that. But now again with social media, it's this like thing on steroids where it's this immediate impact of there's really no recourse for so many people who say something incorrect or say something that we all have said things that we wish we could take back.
Yep.
You can't do that now. You can, you can take it back, but you'll be taking it back for
many years,
millions of people, right? And it will come back in 5 years that you said X, Y, and Z, and so your political career is over, or you get anyway. So it's just, I think the worst effect of cancel culture is people losing their jobs. I suspect in some cases that's probably the right thing to happen. In other cases, you know, who knows?
I mean, if someone is responsible for hiring practices or for banking decisions, and they have espoused things on their personal social media pages or in their personal life, and it's come to light that your actions, your viewpoints, your methodologies are clearly in line with hurting other people's chances of doing XYZ, and you lose your job because that job is holding people back based on your viewpoints, I'm good.
Yes.
To me, that's accountability.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Just recently there was, I'm hogging all the time, I apologize. This is interesting though. There was a young woman who became the editor of Teen Vogue, a Black girl, Teen Vogue, and she made statements in the past about Asians and Asian puffy eye and different, you know, derogatory comments. And I'm not sure about gays, but I can't remember. But anyway, so she's kind of on an apology tour. But you know,
didn't she lose the opportunity for that?
That's what I'm not sure. I haven't followed up on that, and I was wondering because, you know, I mean, that's some heavy pressure from young girls. I mean, for the audience that they're catering to, that's some heavy pressure. And they came back from her college days, and she's only like 27 or something like that. But I do not know if she has lost her opportunity because she was just appointed, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dana,
I'm sorry.
She resigned. Excuse me, I was Googling.
Yeah.
I was trying to not be obvious. I was trying to look at the camera while I Googled.
You're smooth with it.
According to the New York Times, she resigned after fury over racist tweets.
Oh, she tweeted them.
She tweeted them.
But it was in the past. I can't read the whole story, but she did resign. So
okay.
She did resign. Wow. I mean, that was a pretty incredible opportunity she had to be the editor of Teen Vogue. She had been a reporter elsewhere, but you know, so you know, boy, there you go, cancel culture. There you go.
Although I will say there's another
Accountability,
yeah. And you got me thinking about it's really tricky because I know when I was 15, I said a couple things that were stupid and I learned better. I learned a lot better. Very, very, you know, it's just a couple of things, but if I had tweeted those things and people held me to them now in cancel culture, it's one of the reasons why I don't like cancel culture as a whole, because there's no chance for forgiveness or redemption. And I think that people need to be taken on a case by case basis. So I said something when I was 15 and there's evidence in abundance that I have since changed, and you know, someone finds it and I apologize and I say, let my facts speak for themselves of what I've done and where I've come and how, you know, how I've been. I think there should be some chance for forgiveness. But I don't always see that. I've seen some people be canceled for things that they said when they were like 13, 14, 15. And you kind of have to say, well, let's look at how they are now. Because even like the prefrontal cortex of the brain isn't even fully matured till you're 25. So for us,
I was going to say 22 at least, yeah.
Yeah, so for us to cancel people automatically without looking at the whole picture is frightening to me, because it makes me think about, well, if we do that to one person, we're doing that to everyone. And then I'm thinking about our teens growing up in a state of fear of making mistakes because they're afraid of being canceled by everyone, even those that are close to them. That's got to raise anxiety for young people. I'm not talking about 40-year-old politicians now, but I'm saying, you know, for young people that get canceled like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think now everyone who speaks publicly or is a public figure you're holding back, like you're careful of every single word. And I see this with work, you know, with some of my clients, you're careful with every single word, which is good to a degree. But then there's also, like, for me personally, authenticity and integrity are like just values that are like core.
Right. Absolutely.
And so when you're holding everything back, you're also holding back pieces of who you are. And good, bad, and different, like, you know, be who you are. Like, let people see what they're working with, and then make the you know, choice
adjustments.
But yeah, to your point, Alika, especially like young children, like we fortunately didn't have to deal with that when we were young. But it's like you're growing up, learning to just filter your whole being all the time, like that's going to be a pretty uncomfortable way to live. And I'm, by no means am I saying be racist and shout out like terrible things.
There's a gray in between.
Yeah, there's some gray
balance.
Yeah.
And there's balance.
I don't know who anybody truly is anymore, you know? And
yeah, and it will be interesting in the future to see the psychological effects.
Yeah.
Of
that's where I was going. Yep.
Yeah, of people who are completely raised in the social media age.
Absolutely.
I feel very grateful to have been like, I mean, some of the stuff that I've done, if it was on film or if I tweeted it or took photos or so, you know, I mean, oh my God, you know, I mean, it's like being 18 in college. Well, you know, I'm a wild thing. No. but you know, I mean, and I went to an all women's college at first. Oh my Lord, it was crazy town. Going up to Pitt, it was crazy town. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people are affected in the long haul. Because at this point, it's only going to get more invasive. At this point, you know, so it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it is going to be sad for our younger generations that you know, they're so exposed. That's the issue.
So exposed. I was so dumb for so long.
Right. Yes. We were like so naive. Yeah. Like it was a completely different world.
Yeah.
Today,
absolutely.
We even have our kids on a screen at a restaurant. Itty bitty. So they can keep quiet so we can have something going on with our spouse or friends or whatever. So they're being exposed since day one nowadays, you know? And then we all, as parents, we unfortunately be like, here, have a phone just in case, God forbid, you know? But then they go download these apps and then they expose themselves and then they're walking throughout their entire life over eggshells.
And I think too, you know, we are about info and convo, but from an inspirational standpoint, I think that one of the positive things that we can glean from the whole experience and looking for the good is that it can cause us not to necessarily filter ourselves. And we can teach our children to walk that balance line between being who you are, have your thoughts. Your thoughts are able to, as you go throughout your entire lifetime, if you have the same thoughts as you were 10 and 15 that you do when you're 20 and 40 and 70, that's a problem. So we're allowed to give each other the grace and the space to evolve in our viewpoints, our methodologies, our politics, our whatevers. But then as far as coming up in this social media era, like we do need to be conscientious. And I think the age of verbal diarrhea, say what the heck you want to say whenever you want to say it, should be gone. I mean, that part of pre-social media is actually something that would be good to say goodbye to, where we do need to be thoughtful. Even if I disagree with you and you and you, my thought is my thought. It's built on my lifetime of experiences, but I should be able to express that in a way that is tactful or not blah, you know?
There's no grace. There's no grace in social media. There's no grace extended in social media.
That's right.
There's no filter. There's no nothing.
Because there's so many people. Sadly, there's so many people who want to create harm
because they might project out their own dissatisfaction. So when they see someone else that has said something, even if there rings a bit of truth to it, or how they are expressing it might not be the best way, but their thought pattern or whatever, you know, there are pockets of grace. I see it where we kind of be like, well, you know, but I think that we do need, and this comes from someone who, even when I write something, facts about Alicia, when I write something, I'm writing it as if it might ever have to go and stand in court.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I say it, it's because I mean it, but here's my thought, and here's it in such a way that is open to other dialogue, but I'm just gonna, you know, we are who we are, and we shouldn't filter who we are, but we do need to be conscientious with how we say things. And that's growth.
Right. We all gonna grow. We all been younger. We all have to go through ignorance, right? ages, because that's what it is when you don't know better, then you do something that it's ignorant. Not that it's at fault, it's just that's not your
You just don't know. Yeah.
time. You just don't know.
Absolutely.
And you have forgiveness in there, but then if you continue as an adult, then that's a whole different, speech. But yes, we all have to have a respectful manner way to approach and express ourselves. Be always true to yourself, but in a respectful way that where it can be accepted and the most, agreeable, and we all have to agree to disagree.
Absolutely. And I think
Absolutely.
that's definitely a takeaway, that we are not ever going to, even the five of us, we
Right,
have our own experiences and our own background and backstories of where we are right now, that we might not, we don't have all the same views about every single thing the same way. But the difference is that we would never cancel each other out, because
No.
there's grace amongst us and we know each other's hearts, because that's the good thing.
I was just thinking how much I love being with you guys. I love it.
Yeah. Because we give permission. We can give permission to be ourselves and to accept one another just exactly how we are.
Absolutely. And with that, our quote for today, I believe it's worth thinking about what accountability looks like beyond simply exiling someone. In doing so, we can position ourselves more firmly within the values of social justice, which impacts us all. So we do want to give our special, Alika, I felt something. What are you saying?
Oh, no, I was just listening to your quote and I was processing it. Because I think that you were going to say that there's a couple of subscribers you're giving a shout out to. Is that what you said? What?
That's what I'm saying. Shout out our people.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We got people to shout out today. So today, our special YouTube subscribers, our subby shout out today goes to Magnolia Berrios. Shout out to her, Magnolia, as well as Karen Lopez. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. And of course, we want y'all to
subscribe.
Hit that bell button so you can see us every time we upload a video.
Click it, subscribe it, and you will hopefully be our next social media study shout out. So on that note, thank you so much for joining us. We at Media Mama TV thank you and hope that you have a positive, peaceful, and a productive day.
Bye.